Hello and welcome to Powerful Journey Conversations, where I get the pleasure of interviewing and talking to authors whose stories have shaped them. Not only did their stories shape them, but they took their stories, these Powerful Journey authors, took their stories to the stage at our annual Powerful Journey Women's Conference and made such a difference at the conference. Also, they launched their books at the conference as well. So we are interviewing today Judith Jolivet. Welcome, Judith.
Thank you, Miss Phyllis. Thank you for having me. I really,
Abs-
really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So happy that you're here. And we're going to start by having you share something about Judith. Introduce yourself to the Powerful Journey audience.
Again, as Miss Phyllis stated, my name is Judith Jolivet. They call me Red, so on my book you'll see that my name is scriptured across the front of my book that says Judith in quotations Red Jolivet. So that's my nickname from childhood, growing up. And I wrote my story because Miss Phyllis inspired me to write because I was going through some challenges with growing up and trying to be a people pleaser. But I've overcame that after I wrote my story. I really am doing a lot better. I also have a business and it's called Red J Printing. And I do a lot of bags and I do mugs, I do coffee cups, and that's one of the bags that I did for Miss Phyllis's last year conference.
Conference, that's right. So if you were in attendance, you should still have your
Have your
bag.
bag, yes. And I also did her ink pens. I do ink pens. So my company is the type of company that I try to do inspirational messages and I also will do logos for people who are asking for different type of logos and bags and binders and all that stuff. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades. So, but I am happy now because I did write my book and I'm doing a lot better with taking care of self-love. So,
Love that. Love that, Judith. And you will find how to connect with Judith when at the end of our conversation today. So we're going to just dive in. And my first question for you, Judith, is looking back at your powerful journey with us as an author, what inspired you? What inspired you to write your story?
well, be honest with you, I spoke about my story a lot to different people saying that I wanted to write. And what really inspired me is when I hooked up with Miss Phyllis Jenkins. Uh, I was speaking to a friend at church one Sunday, and she had told me she wanted me to come to one of the conference that she had wrote her story. Her name was Vicky, and she's in the anthology book. So yes, so I when she told me to come, I came to the conference, and when I came to that conference that year, I was so inspired to really do that, and but at the same time, I was afraid because I said, I don't know how to write, never have written anything, and I don't even know where to begin or where to start writing. But when I met Miss Phyllis and got on the phone with her and had my interview, she is the second person in my life that has inspired me to do something that made me really happy and released a lot of pain that I had inside of my heart. And I am just truly, truly thankful for her. I thank Miss Phyllis for keeping in touch with me, constantly lifting me up, telling me that I can do the things that I feel like I didn't think rather I couldn't do. And it's just a blessing to have someone that's so strong. And I just thank God for putting her in my life. I really do. I really do. Thank you, Miss Phyllis. I really
Well,
do.
I'm grateful to God for us connecting because Judith didn't remember this, but our daughters were in elementary school together, and I remember meeting Judith way back when. So our girls are in their 30s now. So go figure that was many years ago. But I love how God
Yes.
brought you back into my life and that I was able to inspire you to tell your story and to write your book. And let's talk about your book. Share the title of your book and hold it up so they can see even the cover of your book.
Okay, the title of my book is I Won't Do It Anymore. And I
Mhm.
hope you can see that.
Yes.
Can you see it? Let me see.
Yes. We
What am I doing here? Trying to get the title in there.
the
There we go.
title there.
So the title is I Won't Do It Anymore. And that's a picture of me. And the little person is a mini me. So it's my memoir about the story of me as a child being a people pleaser. And the big inspiration was when I spoke to you, Miss Phyllis, and I know when I spoke to you, I was like a basket case, and I cried, and I was just telling you all this stuff, and I and when I as I was telling you these things, I was like, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired, and Miss Phyllis, I just won't do it anymore. And you said that should be the title of your book, Judith. And I go, yeah. And so from that point on, that was the title of my book, that I won't do it anymore. But it's also because of my childhood trauma that I had of trying to live in a house of six and trying to please family members. And then I took that same thing into my life as I, constantly got out there in life and start living my life as an adult. I just began to try to just please people and was never pleasing myself.
And I love recently, I believe that you shared with the Writer's Journey group that you were doing something and was it your daughter that said,
My, it was my brother. And so,
okay,
and I still have, as I continue to live my life and try to live up to what I wrote and try to also show myself the self-love that I have been missing throughout my life. And when I spoke to my brother one day, and I was, talking about something about, people still, my friends or whatever, still doing this and doing that, and always wanting me to do this and always give up my time. And then when I say no, they get upset, and then I worry and say, I shouldn't have did that. My brother told me, he said, Red, now tell me again why you wrote that book. I won't do it anymore. And I said, you're right, brother. He said, you have to start living what the reason why you wrote the book, because it's all about you now, and you keep getting yourself all upset when you don't do what someone else wants you to do.
I
So
love
it's a
that.
struggle. It's a
I
struggle. Yes.
I it's a journey,
Yeah.
but I love that he reminded you and
Right.
then you immediately remembered what you had written and how that helped you to get back on track. And not only has your book helped you to get back on track and stay on track, but so many others who have read your book are now sailing smoothly because of the strategies and the stories and the things that you shared in
Right.
I Won't Do It Anymore.
Right.
So, my next question is since becoming an author, how has your life or your perspective changed?
Well, since becoming an author, it has inspired me to do more for me. It inspired me to always put myself first before I start making choices and decisions for others. Because if I can continue to learn how to continue to love me first, then I can be a stronger person for when I am out there for others. And the one thing I am noticing, Miss Phyllis, is that uh, I'm becoming more of a leader to inspire other women to stand their grounds and try to put themselves first before they start trying to do for others and stuff. And if it's something that they want to do, I'm learning how to let my no be no and my yes be yes. And it's a constant and each day I do this, I think about it's amazing how my book keep popping in my mind when I try to say no. And then I think about it and I said, in my mind it's going like, oh, I should go ahead and do it. And then the book will come up, why? I won't do it anymore. So I'm reminding myself as well to take a heed to what I wrote in my story. And so it has made me a happier person. And I can be alone and I can sit and I can enjoy my time and I can go and do things by myself. And I can say no and not feel bad about saying no to the people that I have pleased so much in my lifetime. But I'll still love them, but I just won't let them control my life anymore.
Absolutely. I love that. And I also love how God will send people who are people pleasers in your path so that
Right.
you can share with them. Let me tell you how God helped me to get out of that and then help to pull them out of that situation as well. So if you could go back and give advice to yourself before you began this writing journey, what would you say to Judith, pre-author Judith?
If I could go back, I would tell myself, as I have been doing lately, is that I'm sorry. I'm
Mm.
sorry that I didn't take that time to recognize you first before I start giving all of my time to somebody else. And so I'm at the point now that I am telling myself, I'm sorry, but now I'm forgiving myself for not doing what I needed to do for me. And I think about my mom and my great grandmother, and a lot of times the one who really that I love so much and that brought me up and told me how to love. I just didn't know how to do it the way it should have been done to where it didn't hurt me. And so now I know she's smiling at me and my
Yes.
mom is smiling at me.
Yes.
And I'm just happier now that
Mhm.
I've overcame something that even though my grandmother taught me that if you love, love will come back. But she didn't teach me that if you love, to give all of yourself before you love yourself.
Mm.
So now I know from writing that book and pouring out my heart of it's hard to please people and then not get something back. It's hard, but
Judith, I love what you just said because when I think about that your grandmother didn't tell that to you, you probably would not have known how to receive
right.
it, especially at your age then.
6 years old.
But now, and as a young woman, God is allowing you. He has allowed you to walk a path where you can now say that and say it with confidence, knowing that you've got to love yourself before you can start loving others and that this will help lead to not being a people pleaser.
Right.
So I love that you said that.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
let's go into our popcorn questions now. I love these. These are fun. These are light. And so let's just pop answers back and forth. And then we'll come back with our very last question where you will be able to share with our audience how they can connect with Judith Jolivet. All right. So coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Morning person or night owl?
night owl.
One book that changed your life besides your own.
The one that I really enjoy reading is the that has really helped me a lot too is Winning the War in Your Mind.
Mm.
And it's a very interesting book because it tells you stories about when you're a kid, how your parents would tell you things and stuff, and then we just capture that in our mind and we believe it. And so this is just giving you all these different breakdowns of what's really not true.
So,
So
winning the war in your mind, and who's the author of that book?
the author is Craig Gross. It's Groeschel.
Okay,
It's a
wonderful.
New York best-selling author.
Great. So, if anyone is watching or listening and want
Read
to
that book.
get that book,
Great.
there's the title and the author. All right, let's get back into our popcorn questions here. One word that your friends would use to describe you.
It's several, but I'm gonna go with kind.
Kind. Great. If your journey were a song, what would the title be?
I came up with the title, and I would say that it's Grace and Strength by Judith Jolivet.
Grace and Strength by Judith Jolivet. There you have it. Absolutely love that. Judith, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And how can our audience connect with Judith Jolivet?
You can connect with me on my email page, and that's redjude77i@gmail.com. Or and for my printing, you can do redjprinting@gmail.com. If you want to send me something and you want me to do a design for you or whatever, then that you can connect me with that. And to purchase my book, you can connect on Amazon.com. My book is on Amazon. And if you want to personally just buy a book from me, then you just contact me through my email address.
Love that. And I will have all that information in the show notes so that you all can connect with Judith. Thank you again so much for coming to share your story. I know that you have a book signing tomorrow in downtown Dallas. And so, for those of you who are watching and are able to get downtown Dallas tomorrow, you'll be able to get not only her book, but an autographed copy of her book. So thank you again, Judith. And I want to say thank you for listening to Powerful Journey Conversations. If you enjoyed what you heard today, there's going to be more. So come on back next time. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share. Share it with a friend. All
Yes.
right. We'll see you next time. Thank you,
Thank you,
Judith.
Miss Phyllis. Love you.
Love you too. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.